Hi, it's a weekend, the first weekend I think I'm live again. It's really hot now in Japan, so it is Saturday and I shut the shutter. So for the airco, it is a little bit cooler. So let's look at the stock first. Let's look at stock first. Let's do this. Okay. Here we see BNBR that is aligned with Bitcoin. So if you look at Ethereum, this is Ethereum. Let's look at what is it? Hide this. If you look at the weekly chart, you see that it is coming back. It can be another downside, but I think this is, if you look at it, this is a really nice down. If you look at the monthly, this is probably the max down, but I think this is a place where you can see it going up. This will mean if you have like a stop that is a link to it, like BNBR, it will, let's look at here. Oh, this is very, so this will be a chance that it will make a, this is the typical cup you see. This is when Tom Lee took over it. I think you can see a cup here. So it failed and it went down to the beginning of the IPO. And I think this is on the second cup. And I think we will end up around $50 or $60. And then if it is really something, if really Bitcoin goes up, really up, we will see an increasement. If we look at this is the daily chart, what the analysts are saying. Analysts are saying for this stuff, what is it, corporate flow financial chart, but I don't see it here. Analyst says around $40. So we are now at 18, so that is a nice doubling of the thing. So Ethereum, yeah, it is now at 2,000. It is, you can see it is up. Bitcoin is also up. So let's hope that it will go to $70,000. Fly went up 11%. That is, you can see that Rocket Lab went up a nice 9%. Space went 15% up. Tesla did a 2-3%. This is solar. Energy guys went up 5%. So it looks to be that everything is going back to normal. I can look at a little bit more. Okay, just about. This is account. Okay, let's look here. You can see AMD was down. This is almost same. Anchor, that is a company for encapsulating chips, that was up. So the tech sector, I think that the chip sector also will up. Bitcoin, BNBR, we see the same things, black skies and internet guys. So that is around, you see 4%. Because this is Broadcom, 1% up. CoreWeave, 6% up. So we see some of those things. So maybe also Intel is up. And 1%, so chips are 1% up. NeoCloud maybe a 5%. Let's look at it. This is Quantum. Quantum is 11%. It's the same as Space. Mankind is a thing. Meta is, I think, 1%. Yeah, I see less than 1%. NPS 5%. Yeah, it is down. News maybe. Nvidia 2%. It broke the 220. That's nice. Yeah, nice to see that it broke the 220. Ondas is Kaiser for War. This is drones. Open Door is for houses. Oracle is still up. Planet Lab is space. We see here 10%. Red Hair is also space. So see 14%. So we see a recovery from all the space stuff. And here we have Rocket Lab. Hoping is security for data centers, Skywater Technology. I don't know. It's maybe old. It took over. Sophie. Oh, a Wolf. Wolf was down. It was once. I sold it at the top, and I thought, maybe better, but it's so good. SMCI, the Taiwanese smugglers of Rex. They are still. It was always said it would go to $60. Never went there. It always stopped back. It's always around this range. If it goes up to here, there's always a scandal that pushes it down. That is a pity for this stock because it is the same as Dell and HPA, but they even better. I think they help Elon Musk with the Colossuses. But now Elon Musk will build his own stuff, so I don't think it will ever go to 60 again. Future global, that is oil. Now you see here the war. People don't look at it. It's an energy company. Didn't move. Voyager Space. Yeah, we see the 10% for space and Zeta. That is software. It went up good software news. Western Digital went down. So this is maybe the spike of data storage, etc. Let's look at something else. Let's look at FX. Can we see FX? FX. Here we see FX. Here. We saw that what was the job side? The numbers came out on Friday evening. It was a little bit up, so I think it will not move, but it went up. You see here an old trade. There was the entry, there was the out. It hit it, but it was much more, like 5 times higher. So I was automatically take profit. So I got this was my planning for my daily profit 2 days ago. So I missed it here, and it never went up. So today I wanted to make a position, but I was busy in the garden. So later that evening I thought, okay, maybe it goes up and I can get out. It's out problem, but it made a profit. So next week, what can we expect for next week? Let's look for the daily chart. Oh, it's not working. That's not good. Let's look. What is this? Oh, I think I have a problem. I think I have a problem. Control Alt Delete. Oh my God, I'm hanging. Okay, I will look for to get back to this. Just about. Let me look here. Can I get a daily chart? So this is daily chart. So we can see this is the euro. If we look at the Kumo cloud, there was not a tradable position here, but we saw that it was going to the upside of the cloud. So 2 things can happen. It popped out this head of the cloud. It means it can be an uptrend, and then we will see old records taking out. So it means we will see in next week an uptrend of 4 days. So around this, so it could be that it can go up or it goes down and to around here and goes back to what was so it can go back here around here, so from here to here, or it can go up all the way up. What can move this? This has to do, of course, with Trump, law, all kinds of other stuff. So for the moment we don't know. But let's talk about that now. This voice is still because I'm talking softly. So I expect that the dollar will be stronger. We see it in the stock market recovery. This has to do, of course, with the carry trade. I think the intervention of America to the Japanese, I think it will, for the moment, stabilize. Maybe they hold it, and maybe they will do a pull down. They did. Let me check. Did they pull it down again? They did a small pull down, but in reality, it didn't. If you look at the daily chart for FX, didn't really make a dent. So it went with a step down. That is good. I think they will hold it there and look what the market is doing. It will slowly go up, and maybe they pull it 1 or 2 times down. This will mean that there will be a relief on the stock market and the trade, and I think we will see a rise into the stock markets. Now, I got a portfolio consisting out of space stock, Bitcoin, so this the Bitcoin aligned stock, and what is it? Energy. So what I will do is I look at the biggest grow margin. So there are, for my space stock, 2 stocks that are interesting. I got a Firefly that is too far behind. because of all the things that happened. SpaceX is I bought at the top, so I can maybe buy some to lower it. But I also have old stock of Rocket Lab, and that is still a high profit is there. I took a piece of that to buy SpaceX, and I made a round number for Tesla to buy also SpaceX. So I am in a nice, okay position in SpaceX, but I want a little bit more. So I can do two things. I can step out of Bitcoin and use that money to buy more SpaceX, or I can buy more Rocket Lab. What goes first, faster? So now we have to compare the Neutron with SpaceX Starship, and I think Starship next launch will be landing. Now, if you can imagine, if the thing lands on the tower, the stock will go up because everybody will be amazed, and if they can catch a boat, it will be even amazing. If the satellites will work in space and they can do tests, so people will be amazed. Contracts for Neutron are also coming in. So Neutron looks also to be good. But there is not really a goal or an announcement when. And I think you have to wait for that. So what will run up faster? SpaceX or Rocket Lab? I think you can, because it is still under the IPO, I think if my Bitcoin recovers next week and it is a little bit positive, people think always want to be in a positive, but just if it is like minus 10% in my whole stock of my Bitcoin, I switch over to SpaceX, let it run up and 30-40%, cash that money out and wait for the half of it and wait for Rocket Lab for the announcement of Neutron and run up with that thing. And then I'm out of Bitcoin. So then still I have to keep the door open that I can re-enter it. And then I will wait with my stock from Tesla until the merger is announced, and I let those stocks just be converted into SpaceX stock. Then I have a big amount of SpaceX stock. Then I have to think, will this grow further in 2027 or not? So then I have to look, if I have new money, do I put it in SpaceX or do I do a side business first? But probably I will do a side business. That will mean side stock that I can maybe then Bitcoin is interested, or some memory stock, or some energy stock, or some solar panel stock, whatever. What is then popular, and if it goes, then I will make some money and I will reinvest. I try to buy more and more SpaceX, because I think if they are really planning in 2030 to be 1 trillion in revenue, that means it will be 5 times bigger, and that will mean if the stock gets 5 times bigger, that I reach my goal for my pension money, and it is in then 4 years, and at around that time my pension really starts to pay out, and that with this money I can then think about 2 options. I can buy dividend stock of the money, so that I have like 5%. I can buy Coca-Cola or Cisco, or I can put a piece of the money aside and put it in dividend and use that, and then the rest I will keep on trading and try to double it again, so that I have money enough, whatever happens, that I'm free. And I will get a pension around the time in over 5-6 years. So that pension also will be enough to live from. So I think I'm settled. The only thing is my PR. If my PR comes in, if it is in denial, I have to look at my spouse visa, and I try to learn Japanese. That is the only limited factor. If I'm okay, then I can make more definite plans for my pension and look what is the best way to make still a side business, money on the side. I think I do maybe some work, or I will do some free time work. My books will try to save, maybe more YouTube, try to more side income, maybe do some advisory work for AI, help people to start up AI companies, or do some voluntary work if that is also possible. I will look around if I can find something to do. Yeah. If not, I can always have this house. That means a big garden. I can make more vegetables, at least create enough food for the year. So like potatoes for the whole year. Some vegetables I can freeze in. I have 3 freezers, so I can store vegetables and potatoes for the whole year. So try to reduce the costs, clean up the house, make it better. Look at we will decide to build another car, get a new car if we need it, and my wife will change hospitals or something. So we'll be busy. So a lot of activities in the years, and I will still continue trading. So my goal is to try to make a good profit, and I think the only way to do this, the only stock that can go really berserk, that is SpaceX or Bitcoin. So I still have to have a foot into the Bitcoin market. I need space in market. AI, but I already said AI is the end goal. So, but to get AI at a size that it is really the future, they have to go to space. So, and what is now everybody knows about AI, and they are invested in memory chips, facilities, and also host companies like NBS, and the big companies also have their own data centers and rent it out for people, AWS and Google Cloud, whatever. But the thing that will build it out in real size, it will be space, and that's why we will see the space companies going up. That will be noticed in a short while, and people will move to investment probably from from AI to space. And I also think that it will be time to look at quantum. I think quantum, if we have some production or systems in space, and somebody has this crazy idea to build a quantum computer in space, I think just before the time you have to have some stock that is aligned to space. Or if SpaceX will start with experimenting with test facilities of quantum computer or fusion generators in space, then you still have, of course, the SpaceX stock that is covering it all. But if there are some small startups that are probably buy for SpaceX, you have to look at it. And I also think SpaceX will buy more, because if they have fused with Tesla and they have the technology they have and they really want to build it out, they always is two things: you can build it yourself or you can merge with it. And I think the problem will be maybe IPO, the right, or the people. I think if you need but also you can have AI do all of it, but I think also you need to, if you have a side business for the fusion reactor or some quantum computer, you want to have the experts there. Of course, you can use an AI and some engineers, and they can do the same result as this. But I think Elon Musk would think, okay, why don't we buy a quantum computer company, add it to our thing, give it all the resources of our AI, and we develop it faster. Then we have the people, we have the history of how it is developed. So we have some people with knowledge. We probably can get the data from it, because in the future, they buy a company not for the people, but for what the data that is in the company. So if you buy, for example, a company that creates components or for quantum computers or quantum computers itself, people are interesting, and maybe the product is interesting, but more interesting is how they develop these products and how they develop the technology. And that you feed to an AI, and then the AI can run it faster or it evolves it faster. And if you just buy it and get the product or pay people, you don't have that. So you want to have it all. And that, I think, will be more interesting for companies later, to buy whole companies, not for the employees, not for what they are producing, but the data that they accumulated around that time that was specific for the business, so they can use that to train a model and to extend this business further or integrate it with their businesses. So I think we can see after Tesla maybe a consideration. Then if he goes to the moon, he needs all the equipment for the moon, so life support, solar panel outbound, whatever that is needed there. And those companies, he will probably, half of them he will buy, half of them he will use AI to make it himself. Factories will be, so there are so many problems, but maybe that is later. But I think Space, AI, I think it will move from AI. So you will see now if AI goes up, or rockets go up, you see that also quantum goes up. So you have to look at those industries. You have to make for yourself a number of stocks that has to do with quantum, with AI, and then AI you split up for the memory, the chips, the rack builders. There's only three. There's HPA, Dell, and SMCI. Then the memory is also three: SK Hynix, Samsung, and MU. And so you build up and you look how those markets move, and if one follows, if space goes up, quantum always goes up. So if quantum is down and you see that space is going a little up, you can expect maybe a spike in quantum. So you can invest some stock in quantum and run it up. If not, yeah, okay. And you can sometimes see in a group that one is lagging behind, and you can invest that. But for example, with rack builders, SMCI is always down, and you think, okay, everything goes up. Why doesn't SMCI go up? But there is a story behind why. So you also have to. It doesn't always work like that. So you have to study what it is, and you have to really see this one is lagging always behind. Same business, no trouble. You have to look at the news if there is not some short sellers there, or some news popping out that are in court. That's why they are down. So you have to all look the news, but sometimes you can go in an industry top goes up, and then the rest will follow, and you can sometimes make more money with investing in those companies that will follow the leader. This is not trading advice. This is just, if you look at the market, what you see and what there are chances to easier predict the market and the movement of stock. So we are not talking about money. I'm not your advisor or whatever. This is just analyzing the market. So I think in 2027 there will be a lot of chances of making money. I think years after it will be problematic, because it has to do with the midterm elections in America. Will Trump be a sitting duck doing nothing because he loses the House or whatever? So until the run-up of the half selections in America, I think the stock market still will go up, and then just before months it will be twittering, and maybe goes down, or will be nervous. Maybe good time to pull out of the market or go into stock that you know that will not be affected by the midterm elections. So that is some advice. But for this weekend talk is, it is warm in Japan. There are still more rumors about immigration, and papers changed here in Japan for immigration law and extra. My life, it goes good. Stock is recovering. I was my portfolio was around 20% down because of this dip. It climbed up now to 13% minus. So I'm going up to where it once was, and I'm not so worried, because I'm still a long way from when I want to cash in my money. So for 5 years or 6 years. So I'm still good, and I think the best years of growth in the stock market are still ahead of us, especially with space and AI. So there are new models out. There's a lot of talk. If you think 2 years ago at Bloomberg, 1 or 2 people talked about AI. Now every hour somebody talks about AI. Every week, at least 2 new models that are addressed at Bloomberg or SMCI. CNBC. So everything is about AI. Everything is about things. I see a good sign is that the war in Iraq is getting less and less attention. It is less and less influence. The oil, of course, has an underlying influence on the market, and that's still something you cannot take out of eye. And so that is. We have seen everything with stock. We have seen FX, what I'm thinking was going to happen. We have the whole situation addressed for what happened in the week and what I think will happen next week. I think so. Stock will go up. Rocket Lab and all the rocket stock and SpaceX will go up will grow around 20%, maybe around 20% up. Tesla, I think, will recover back. Will make his steps back to the $400 slowly and slowly. So if we are like 370 next week, that is already a good way back to the 400. don't expect to spike it up or something. Of course, if there's an announcement for a merger, everything has changed. So that is that. And I would say people enjoy the weekend. Before I end, I was stuck with some book writing, and so I had this beginning, this intro of my book, a science fiction book. I always try to write and always fail. Uh, I made a good start, and I wanted to go to the next step, but I got this enormous block. So I introduced my main character, one of the main characters. Then I wanted to add the second character, and there it totally failed. I could not get this character in the story nicely. I could, of course, I thought I'd jump over it and then write a story, but it is all has to do how those two people, or how the alien and human, how they meet, and for the whole uh, plot. So I started yesterday to have a new idea, and at a mere I found something. So I found a new way to start a book. I still can introduce my old intro that was very good as a like if one of the persons looks back, so the story begins and then it has a flashback, or there's a chapter that goes about the origin story of the character, that I can use that previous story and integrate it into the story, and then I can easily walk up. I was amazed that the beginning of the first story what I wanted to keep is because I got always a score of 9 out of 10 from AI. That's how good it was, and now I have another start, and that gives me a 9.5. So you think, why don't you use that start? Yeah, but the crazy thing is the other person from the first triad is not really named, or not really that it is in the story, but not really who or what she is. So if I combine those two things, then I have a good story. So the head person, always Nick, I wrote at last a nice start. And the trick is I used a little bit of Japan and a little bit of what I did in the story, so that makes it really real. I used to work for Informatica, and I used to work, have parties. I went, well, not parties, but I went in with drinking with colleagues with JP Morgan, and all the banking in Tokyo downtown at the PCM bar. And I added that in the story as one of the beginnings of the story, and I can describe exactly how it there is. AI tried to write it, and it said it is under the Eki Tokyo station. That is not the case. I know exactly where it is, so I wrote, corrected it all, and I made a sphere how the bar is, also more what it is in reality. Then I add the twist in the in the story, and I use the knowledge I have of Japanese politics, Japanese culture, Japanese underlaying how Japan really works as a kind of sci-fi thriller story. And the thing is, I added my knowledge about finance. So the main person is not only a database guy, but he also works for a bank and finds out how the financial work, how Japan is, how you call it, financing the whole world. And this whole financing has a goal. In the beginning, he doesn't see it. He thinks that it is like wow, something bad. That it's about money and and power and manipulation. But slowly and slowly, and the leader of this whole stuff is like devils and like legendarity of bad people, even goddesses and whatever that is has to do all with a cult. And he thinks that in the beginning everybody thinks that it's very bad, but later in the story, it becomes clearer and clearer. There's a deeper layer of this all, and it is not bad. Or what it is, you have to read the book. I have built many twists in the book that you think, this is how it is. This is a book like this and this. Then I totally turn the story upside down. Then you think, okay, now I know what it is. Oh, nice book, good. And then at the end, you think you will, there will be an end, and then I erase that. I rebalance it all and put it upside down, and you think, oh my god, I didn't see coming, and then the wheels, then part book two can start, and you are introduced with the real story, what's going to happen after this story. this will be a nice surprise. I hope it says even give this story to Amazon or Netflix, and maybe they're interesting to make a series of it. And it has the potential to do this because it is so smart. It is a very nice and real. You can build it with. You don't need high tech. You can use actors. You can use city lights. You don't need special effects. It is science fiction, but you don't need crazy things. You can still do some normal film studios with actors. It is more about the story, about the story that is told, than special effects like fighting or laser swords or whatever spaceships. It is a science fiction story at a different level than people think, and people will like it. And a lot of people are thinking in this way, but is this really true? It has to do with all kinds of things. It touches from ancient islands. It goes to science fiction. It goes to time traveling. It goes to uh, legends, it goes to goddesses, old myths, it goes about cult, it goes about politics, it goes about manipulation of the economical market. It has to do with investment, it has to do with the Japanese carry trade, it has to do with investment, it has to be with development of technology and how it is steered in a specific direction. So all these elements, all the elements I write books about and my knowledge is about, I integrate it all in this new book. And I think I now have two big pieces that you can fit together, and I think I have now the plots and how I can set up the book. So I will next week I will work out the second part. Then I have to integrate the first part into the second part, and then I will have to I stored it as a book, and I rewrite the whole book again and make it everything that it is fitting, so that the everything is correct. The characters are correct, the same. So I have to read everything if it is consistent and it is correct. And I don't think forget things. And the characters are. I have to maybe work out all the characters, write some portfolios, some character sheets about it, and then rewrite all the stories again and make it expand it a little bit. But it is not a book of 400 pages, but it is more a book like 600 pages. So, and it is easy to read, and it has some funny things in it, and it has some really things that are interesting. So I live in Japan, so I push something in Japan. First, I want to do everything in America, in Austin, for SpaceX, for rockets, but I will not do that. I will push everything back to Japan because I know Japan, and it doesn't have to be about rockets. Maybe later, but not now, not in this first book or the first books. So I will create this whole interesting culture thing that people will like because it's a book about Japan. It's about history, it's about legends, and about economical systems, and about shogun era, and it is all about all kinds of things that play now, even in modern Japan. That there is a deeper, also an underworld or a deeper culture that is not visible for the normal visitors and people that live here in Japan. Even Japanese that live in Japan don't know a lot of this stuff, and there is a lot of in politics, a lot of movement or things happening, and people are not aware of this. And it has to do all with old things. It goes hundreds of years back, and it is all about power and all about yeah, it's mainly all about power. So, and about families, and the families is a problem because there are not enough children. So this becomes a problem, uh, not only not here in Japan in reality, but also something in the book you will also see. So I'm talking about more than 30 minutes. I think I addressed everything, even the book I'm writing now. I will have a weekend. I still have to. I have a fence, maki, that is a special tree, a bonsai tree. It's small, but it's big. These are not bonsai trees; they are big trees, but from the same kind. And I have built a whole fence around my property. I have to cut that so the neighbors don't complain about it. It is getting too big. They are took 10 years to grow, or was it 5, 6, 7 years to grow them the big size. So now I can cut them as a nice ball of trees, as a hedge. So I will do that today. Then I have to clean up the garden. I still have ichichiku, so figs to place that also nice. I have to cut some trees. I have to clean up everything. And then in the winter, I will start to redesign and reactivate the vinyl house. I have an old vinyl house that was hit by 2 typhoons, so there's now only skeleton. And I have to rebuild up the greenhouse. That is the first aquaponics specially built building in Japan. People say that there are other one people have heard, but this one is very old. This is when I rebuilt a house. I also built that thing. It is half under the ground. It has tanks for water for the fish, and it has solar panels. It is powered by not enough power, but it has a very big batteries. It has solar panels, 420 watt power, the pumps, so it can run on a sunny day by itself. It produced in a time some vegetables and it was working well. But after times it became worse and worse and worse, and it was easier to work outside. Then I expanded the whole thing with a vinyl house that worked also for a few years, and I used floating rafts with water to make all kinds of vegetables there. That also didn't work because everything started to break down because it was too hot and it was too humidity. The wood was I built everything out of wood and it started to rot, and then I switched to everything to concrete, and then I was hit by a typhoon. I tried to rebuild it, reduce the size of the vinyl house, and I was hit again by a typhoon. And then I stopped. Now I will rebuild it and make it like an open system for. I was thinking to make some buckets, aquaponics, and then with trees, or a simpler system in the open air, or I make some net over it, but not vinyl anymore. If it is hit by a tree, it cannot damage the system. Also, the forest behind it, I cut down. There were some half-dead trees. I cut them down, and I cut it back down so that if something happens, it will not fall directly on our ground, but there are very big trees there. So if those get by a storm, fall over to our ground, and I cannot help that. It's too big. So this winter I want to rebuild once some stuff. This we made from our garden, from our green garden. We 50%, 60% is now covered with sheet. We have a big concrete slab where we can put an for people that come, we can put a bench there and we can put a pool there. We can play there. It's a big concrete plate. So that is what we built. It took us 2 years with my wife. A nice place. I think it is 8 meters, 6 meters by 4 meters, 4 meters by 6 meters or something. So yeah, you can put a tent on it, a very big tent on it, or you can put some benches and with some food. I can do a barbecue there, or I can build a very big. I have a very big pool, can fill that and can play with the dogs or whatever. So that was the idea of this concrete, or maybe build something like a container and make a gym there or whatever. That's nice. And then I still have the green the vegetable garden I reduced and made it more easier to plow, and also the plowing machine I had was broke, and then I was so frustrated I pulled it out. I removed the cover and I studied how this engine works. Now I know it, so if it breaks down I can repair it myself. So it's a very easy engine. I studied car mechanics, so I was a little bit lazy, but now I looked at it and this okay, this is a very simple engine. It is very simple way of how this works. So I looked at what some knobs and things that I can adjust, and now I know why it sometimes doesn't work and works. The oil change I understand, so I can repair it myself. So this is a nice thing to know. So I got 300 kilos of potatoes this year, so that it goes also okay. So I will do that every year. So I have potatoes. What I do, I boil them, freeze them in, and the whole year I have French fries or boiled potatoes. I make mashed potatoes or potato salad, or just boiled potatoes or French fries. And yeah, they are eating good. So it saves me half of the cost of normally I eat rice, but now I can do half rice, half potatoes, and it will. Yeah, it is cost reducing. So, and the potatoes are not so expensive if you buy the planted tomatoes, and you split them in half, so you get 2 times more, and then for every the potato, I get like 4, between 5 and 5 potatoes in average. So you can imagine you buy 100 potatoes, you split them, becomes 200, and 200 times 5 becomes 1,000. And then 20% you throw away, because if they go on the surface and they're hit by the sun, they become green and then they become poisonous, so you have to throw them away. Some are too small, so maybe half of it, or 40%, 30% you throw away. Then you have to boil it and you freeze it in, and that is enough for a small place like 10 by 10 meters is enough for me for the whole year or half year to eat. So that is, if you buy, the investment is not so much, 6,000 yen. And if you know that one potato is 80 yen, so I got like, I said, 300 kilo more. Now we gave half of it away, no, half, maybe 35% away to the employees of the people that we know. And yeah, we still have a lot over. We still can eat a whole year, half a year of it. And what we gave away was around, I think we gave 5 or 6 of potatoes per person. It's for 300 yen, and we did it like 20 or 30 of these packages we made. So we gave a lot away. People liked it. We got reactions back that they liked the potato, so that's good. So strange thing for people that don't know, in Japan, and normally I can make easy tomatoes. They become red. This year they don't become red. They stay green, and if they become red, they are like a little bit old. So there's something with the sun, or there's something with the heat. I don't know what it is. Typhoons are not it. They're very strange. It looks like the sun changed or something with the. First I thought it was my ground, but I look at other places, other hatake, and they have the same problem. There is something strange with the tomatoes not getting red. The stores, they use gas to get them red. So that doesn't change, because green they become. But the last stage of the tomatoes to become from the light green to red, it looks like it doesn't. And they are in the sun, so the sun is okay, whatever. But it looks like they don't change color as quickly as in old times, because I know I just put some cherry tomatoes, and they are green, and before you know that they change to yellow or red, and then you can already pull them off. Now they stay a long time green, and at the end now of the summer they start to really get a color. Half of them are rotten, so I don't know what it is. Plums also this year were strange. They fall off, but that could be the typhoon. There's something. The first year that it was just, I noticed it, there was something strange. Normally I have much more tomatoes, and this year, strange. The price of tomatoes is a little bit more expensive, but I think those are built in vanilla houses and whatever, in production sites, and I think those are okay. They look to be okay. And I know, so the last piece of the tomato to become red, they use gas. They don't use the sun to make them red. So maybe that's had no impact on it. But for the homegrown farmers, there is something. They had to notice that there's something strange. And you see also at the Eki, where you can buy the homegrown vegetables, tomatoes. Tomatoes are expensive. During the high season summer, tomatoes are very cheap. Normally, 1 year ago, they were like a box of 5. You pay a few hundred yens for. Now it is 3 times more expensive. Can be inflation, but I don't know. So I want to end this. I hope that everybody liked this. This is the end of the week. First week alive again with a new laptop. We talked about everything. Next week, I want to talk a little bit more about something else. I will think about it. I was thinking about something like AI and the development of it, and how I see how it develops. Space. I hope we get news about how it is pulled, and if the Starship that was Starship 13 that was plunged into the sea, if it comes to America and we can see the shield more close up. For the rest, I think we have to wait at least 2 weeks or 3 weeks for the next launch. Neutron announcement, I don't know, maybe. can we maybe this week can some announcement of data AI that SpaceX sells more to some AI companies. I think that's it. I think that's what we can expect next week, and I think that all the stock will go gradually up, and I think that the FX will go, the yen will become a little bit weaker, and I think we can expect one or two small interventions from America and Japan to pull it back to the place where it is now. And I think they want to control it. They don't want to let it run crazy like 200 and what is it? It's now, let me look, it is now 157. I think they don't want to let it return to 160. I think they want to pull it down to maybe 240. No, 150, around 150 and 155. I think they want to block it to get to 155 to 160. So if they keep it around 155 with the carry trade and they can control it, it's okay. The only thing that is maybe a worry for my Euro USD is if that is Lagarde goes down with instant rate and America goes up, the pair will switch, and that will be disastrous. So I hope Japan, America doesn't move, and also Europe doesn't move with instant rate. But that could be a surprise for everybody. That's it. See you next week. Tomorrow I will take off a day, and Monday evening or Monday will start a new one. See you.